keep talking about the elements associated with the people. So we'll just, yeah, like the Asians are air. What is it? The Hindus, Indians are earth, I believe. I know water is black people, fire is white, and I don't know what, I guess ether would be everybody, but yeah, it's every element is connected to a certain race. That's why you use certain personalities, of course. But
if you look at all the root races as well, that's exactly the same thing when you look at all the root races. And if you actually look at, even when saying, you said, Chris, Africa was, or black people would be, what did you say, water?
Water.
Okay. And then, and if you look at other tribes in Africa, depending on where they are in the country, if they've got nothing but earth around them, you've got desert people. Okay. So that's the fire. So if we look at it on a global scale, we can say where the elements each are, just like the earth has chakras, right? We can say the same thing about the elements, but as you zoom in into Africa, Africa becomes the world, and then you can separate. Then a tribe becomes the world, and then certain people will be more fiery. Then let's zoom it in more. A person becomes the world.
Exactly.
You're the universe. So you are the world, the person, the world, you. And then the elements within you, how are you working with them? Because you don't have to look externally. Then you dive even deeper into yourself. And then you start saying, again, the water is my emotion. The earth is when I need to ground in my root. The ether is my crown chakra. And so one thing, you can't polarize and go into just your mind and your yoga meditation, because you won't then be present in your physical body that the universe has very kindly given you, right? You can't go too much into your emotion, because you're going to be like a child and someone can hurt you. Children are so vulnerable. You say one little thing to them, they'll fucking remember that shit for life. They'll remember it for life. We are, you know, and that's the disconnect with the water in the world, the Oshun side. That's showing us the disconnect with our inner child. So that's fucked, right? Then you've got the intuition, or you've got the earth, which is your ancestors. They spent a lot of time on the land, right? And then you've got ether, which is obviously your spirit, which is everything. So you can't be in one or the other too much. And once you can see it in your vision, I bet you'll start astral traveling, and you will start looking at things that remind you of you being the planet. And then you're on your own planet, and who are you letting onto your planet, and who can land, and what are your customs? How strict are your customs, Alex? Because if your planet's overcrowded and these people aren't honoring your land and they're taking from your land, then they're invaders. That's how you have to do it. Zoom out, zoom in, be relaxed, and be alert at the same time. Be relaxed that you're exploring the lands of, look at my beautiful garden. Remember when it was barren? But look at me now. That's me. Look at me now, motherfuckers. Like, none of you lot came and worked on my farm, but now you want to eat from my fucking land. Guess what? I'm going to feed you. It's calm. Let's go, because all is self. Yeah. So there's never going to be that thing of, it's mine, Smeagol, mine. I'm not going to give it to you. Now, this is what the elite are doing. This is what the occult was all about. Let's go underground, and it's the hidden knowledge, forbidden knowledge. This is what people are always saying. Know thyself. Know yourself. And then what do you do when you know? Nothing. Nothing. People don't do nothing because they don't know what to do, because they read it in a book, and they only know someone else's perception because maybe they don't feel that their experience is that valid. Chris, I'm talking to you.
No, I feel you. I know what you're talking about.
Because your experience is valid, Chris, more than the books you're reading.
Oh, no, yeah, I stopped.
You're a scholar.
I feel you.
You're a scholar.
I stopped reading because, like you said, I came to that realization that I'm only reading what somebody else's experience is. So I need to start meditating and start having my own experiences, so I can go get information from the astral world on my own. You know, like you said, you know, share my experiences. So I feel
you feel like
sure.
you have experiences right now?
Me, oh yeah, mine just more so shadow work. Just learning how to master intuition, mastering thoughts. And I guess all of that, mastering that subconscious, not reacting, but being proactive in my thoughts and how I do things. Like you said, going backwards.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Transmutation. So you're learning how to transmutate.
I was decent with the transmuting because I understood that, like you said, that darkness, people telling you ain't shit, has always motivated me. So I was always able to transmute those type of things. So that it more so it's just strictly everything's mental alchemy. That's what I like to master because it's easy. It's just think it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I don't like to do. I just like to think. I'm a lazy motherfucker. So yeah, alchemy and transmuting mental thoughts. And because I understood what you said earlier, it has to take place on the fourth or fifth dimension in the astral world before it can take place in the physical. So you, like you said, you standing in front of the mirror telling yourself that you are beautiful, these things, or I have XYZ already, then and that's what Issa talked about. You speak in those terms as if you already have it and you feel it internally, then your higher self or whoever your guides are like, oh shit, we need to get it to them sooner. You know what I'm saying? And that's how you transmute or manifest things you want. Because like you said, I did visualization early. I did it in high school with football. Like I would go to bed every night and I would visualize the plays I would want to make. And those plays are on film. So that visualization. So like I was good at certain things. I was good at visualization and dreaming and getting things to happen that way, but astral travel, just not so much. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, I'm at different points with different things. Definitely don't mind looking things up. But like I said, now it's more so about writing down my own experiences and take more notes I take, of course, the more I receive, because form of gratitude, the more you show somebody they're thankful for something, they give you more. So I think my higher self, I get more downloads, you know. So I need to start writing down dreams more so I can have more dreams, which lead to lucid to astral. So yeah, I feel you though.
What about if you created your own narrative with exactly what you have right now? Like, do you not think there's potency in shadow work? And also collectively, masculines are going through their shadow work, and this is a time of I feel like masculines don't really share. They tend to seek knowledge. They don't really share, and if they do, the sharing is a regurgitation of something that they've read before. And this has been happening over many periods and ages of time, you know, which is why scholars and monks, they always tend to kind of flock together kind of thing in these systems. Do you not think that where you're at right now, because I always say to people, where you're at right now is the solution, and where you are right now is everything. It's someone else's solution, is someone else's inspiration, because then what happens is it's a destination addict where you're always thinking, yeah, when I've done my shadow work, then I'm gonna, you know, you're always doing the fucking shadow work. You're doing the shadow work when you go to sleep, you know, you're work all the time when if you're having a smoke, or if you're even around someone that you don't know, or if you think someone's being an agent, that's the shadow work. And I've done it, and Alex is doing it. So we're all in different spaces, but we're all actually doing quite similar things. And I think when you said about the darkness being potent, you know, even Chris, just you talking about something like that, just on your like Instagram, or even writing it down somewhere, or having an alias if you don't want people to see you. I think there's so much power in that. And if that ball doesn't get rolling, or if that element is not explored, the universe may give you more trauma until you kind of really get going and spit it out. Because sometimes it's not even about writing or it being in your mind. Sometimes that throat chakra activation, or you seeing someone doing it and you agreeing with everything they're saying, and you always nod your head like so enthusiastically. I'm like, yo, we're like the same person. Like I already know energetically that's true. But then that also means there's so much power in your observations, and maybe you don't even need to experience it because you're so linked into other people's experiences that you can literally be like, okay, let me just open a gateway and start talking about my shadow work, and then someone else could benefit off that, which then sends you gratitude. And then that gratitude manifests as the experience, because experience doesn't have to be trauma. And instead of you transmuting someone telling you you ain't shit, how about someone telling you, hey, do you know how great you are? And how about you transmuting something like that instead? I'm just flipping the script.
Oh, I was just speaking in a general sense,
I'm speaking in general sense too, Chris. I'm speaking in general sense too. How about?
Oh no, that works. Yeah, no, I get it. I was just speaking, so like people really hate their haters, and I'm just like, those are the people you should thank just as much as someone telling you you're doing a good job, because that only motivates you so much. I was just more so illustrating how darkness, because people consider that negative and they associate darkness with negativity. So
yeah, and it's
like
not.
Yeah, at all. It's just an opposing force. So and like I said, be more opposing force. Yeah, my favorite. But I get what you mean.
I just think that they get to a point where the haters disappear.
Yeah,
the haters disappear. They disappear, and all of a sudden now, the abundance of love, and it's like the haters don't know how to approach you, or even. This is why I was saying to you, Alex, like protection isn't really needed, because if everything is me, if I put barricades around me, and my haters are trying to get in, they're going to see it as a challenge. But if I'm like, hey, come in, you're my guest. Do you want a drink? What do you need? If you treat them like that, what are they hating on? But it's when people do this, keep away. Like when you do that, that actually feeds them, because they need you to come down to their vibration. But if you start honoring them, because the way you honor yourself is how you honor other people. If you start honoring those people, there's only so much they can say. And if they can't speak the language of light, if they can't speak the language of love, then they won't speak. That's how you shut them the fuck up.
It's very true.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you got to take them off their frequency and put them on yours. It's either or, like they said.
And you jump timelines. That's how you jump timelines, right? When you jump timelines, a lot of bullshit will disappear, and all of a sudden their timeline will continue existing, but they'll then scurry off and find another being who is like accessible to them. But if you've completely wiped away from their timeline and you've done a whole paradigm shift, your whole reality is coexisting along the reality where those people won't even bug you anymore, because they won't even come in front. You won't even see them. You won't even see them. People I don't want to see, I'll just be like, swipe, don't want to see you, okay? And if I keep seeing them, that means they still have a message for me. So your agents still have a message for you. You need to just be like, what's the message? What's the message? I'm listening. Yeah, try that. Instead of saying there is no place for you, I'll be like, here, come, have a seat. What's on your mind? If you try that, they'll suddenly be like, when they go in there with the roar, and you're like, hey, be a child, right? Hey, what's your name? Have you ever seen Monsters Inc. when Boo is just not phased? She's not phased. Yeah. She's got this big monster, and she's like, Boo, talking some next language. And in the face of a child, any monster just becomes someone who becomes like your baby. Like throw a child to the wolves, and the wolves will raise the child. There's no animal that will tear a baby up. Please, that doesn't happen. It's bullshit stories. They will not tear a baby up, because the baby is pure, innocent, and the energy is recognized by that animal. And if an animal can recognize it, what is a demon? The demon only exists. The demon only exists on the astral. It only exists because you believe in it. But if you actually turn around and be like, oh, I'm sorry, demon, I'm sorry you were like treated really badly. Like, what is it that you need to tell me? Just like if you were in a ghost, or you met a ghost or a spirit, what is it that you need to tell me? And they'll be like, oh, okay, well, I was just a bit lonely, and like, you know, Moaning Myrtle in Harry Potter. And then suddenly they've got a message, and then you have compassion, and then they'll say to you, oh, can you just do this, and you'll say, oh, that's what I needed to sort out. And then it will be like a weirdly decoded message, and then once you wake up, you're going to realize, I feel a bit different. And then all of a sudden you're going to meet people, and they'll come into your life, and you'll be like, how did I never ever meet this person before? They were on my Instagram all along. Because you've jumped timelines, you've opened a different gateway. When people are talking about this on spiritual pages, let me tell you something, yeah? They ain't gonna tell you what a gateway is because they don't fucking know. They ain't gonna tell you what a paradigm shift is because they don't know. They haven't experienced it. It's just the buzzwords.
Vibration and vibes. Yes.
Positive vibes only, paradigm shift, you're gonna feel ascension symptoms and okay. This was the same ascension symptoms last month. For like, you're telling me I got itchy leg, or you got this, and now all of a sudden I do have an itchy leg because I just read that I had an itchy leg. Like, you're just perpetuating my reality, and you're going into my subconscious whether I know it or not. So the only thing you need to work on, and I will say this to every single person listening, the only relationship you need to form is with your subconscious. The only thing you need to be in love with is your subconscious. Your subconscious is your inner child. Your subconscious is the beloved. Your subconscious is the feminine side of you. Your conscious is your masculine side of you. Show your feminine side some love. They are the watery element. They say the ocean is like your subconscious because it's never ending. It's so deep. You will find that people who are water signs, like I'm a Scorpio, so I got so much water and then so much fire. Like, you ever seen fire on water? That's where I reside. I'm in a constant duel with myself, clearly, as you can see with my life experiences. And that battle does not end, guys. It constant with every single thing. Does this person like me? Oh my God, what am I going to say? I've got anxiety. I've just thrown up all my food. Okay, that means I'm supposed to be fasting. What shall I eat? How am I going to go to sleep? Am I going to smoke a spliff today? No, Min, don't do that. Do guided meditation. That inner dialogue does not shut the fuck up for anyone, okay? Sometimes you have to just keep it simple and be like, we're gonna, you know what I do? I talk to my flat every day and I just say, hi guys, we're gonna do a Zoom with Alex and Chris today. So can everyone just send the energy? And you know, I'm talking to my flat. That's how sad I am, but I'm talking to my subconscious, and we have to be careful what we say to our child inside, because it is the heart, it is the most powerful. So the most powerful magnetic field is emitting to the whole universe and everyone around me, and yet I have no control over my adult mind. The adult lives here, the child lives here, the ancestors live here, okay? The adult lives here, the government lives here, the child lives here. And how we talk to our heart is the most powerful, because how we talk to our heart is how we talk to our subconscious. And also, that is what manifests what happens outside, not your thoughts, because your logic can tell you a million times, don't date this guy, he's a dickhead. Don't date this guy, he's a dickhead. Don't date this guy, he's a dickhead. Hear what? You didn't, the logic told you, but you ignored it. Now you really felt him being a dickhead. It hurt, innit? It hurt, innit? Now you're gonna cry, you're not gonna listen to your mind, and then you're gonna shut your child down and say, you stupid idiot, you didn't tell me. Now you're gonna shut down the ancestors, and now you're just gonna go back to your logical mind, and then the government takes over again. Tell me that this is not happening right now in the world. Tell me that I don't know what the collective is feeling. I will just watch what's happening in the world and I'll be like, damn, the divine masculines are really suffering, innit? There's a lot of fire on this planet. It's not the deluge. It's not Noah's Ark. It's not a watery thing. It's a fire thing. It's the Fire Nation. And that's a lot of angry Zucos and, you know, them mans in there in the Fire Nation, because they just want validation. They just want to be the hero. They want to save the world. They want to be Black Panther. They want to look like Black Panther, but when the government tells you all the gyms are shut, who's fighting? Nobody. So you're not Black Panther. So shut up. You're not. It ain't Wakanda. It's only Wakanda because it's make-believe. So what I'm trying to say is that if the divine masculines, and Chris, you know, I feel like you are like a beacon of light and dark for potentially even them and yourself. If there aren't enough divine masculines who are talking or even sharing some of the things that they're going through, and it's all women that are talking, or creating covens, or, you know, women are a lot better at maybe expressing themselves, then that's an imbalance, and that's a real polarization. Yeah. So I will leave that with you guys to think about your own inner balance of your divine masculine and your divine feminine, and maybe look at how you're treating your inner child, your heart, and really, really going into your subconscious and learning more about your subconscious and how can you connect with it, what your heart truly desires. Do you have too many desires? What are your ancestors saying? Is your gut being clogged up by certain food? In the astral, who are you meeting? If there are a lot of entities and demons, then what message do they have for you? It's about really balancing yourself out in the waking world and in the dream world. And you don't have to astral travel to be enlightened, because not everyone is going to get their intel like that. It could just be them being on the bike like me, and the higher self comes and talks to you. That is enough. It could be in your meditations. It could be in the middle of trauma. It could be through a bereavement. It could be through heartache. There's no cookie cutter. Spirituality is not a cookie cutter. There's no template. So yeah, maybe I should stop talking. I've said that 3 times, but I'm really serious.
I actually have like a load of questions that I wanted to lead on. I'm getting really drawn to talk about the reality shift that we are experiencing.
Mm-hmm.
The camera's not on. Oh, it's back.
Sorry, it was low battery. My phone's had enough.
Yeah, sorry. Do you think you could like explain to people maybe that don't have the level of understanding that we have about this reality split that's occurring?
The 3D and 5D?
Yeah. Do you feel, because I have felt it, if I'm honest with you, like I can already sense, just from my experience of what I'm experiencing, and then just watching other people, I can see that they're experiencing something completely different. There's a reality split going on.
Okay, so the 3D and 5D, I think we touched on it a little bit earlier with the timeline shifts, but the way I'm going to say it is, when trauma hits the whole planet collectively, you're going to very quickly see how people deal with their own levels of consciousness and their own learning. The thing with the dark night of the soul, or your own suffering, is that it's just yours. When you collectively deal with trauma, certain people have only signed up for a certain level of experience, okay? When you've come to Earth or in the astral, wherever you came from, you've only signed up for a certain level of experience, okay? And to maintain a certain level of frequency, which means they're holding the space for that reality. So if they're tied into like the husband, the wife, the child, the mortgage, the car, the dog, the 9 to 5 and all of this, there's nothing wrong with that. They would find it a lot more difficult if tomorrow money stopped existing, your house no longer is, how can you prove that it even belongs to you? There's no more 9 to 5 because robots have now taken over the job that you was doing. The reality that their reality that they strongly fed into and believed in overnight could be changed if things change tomorrow. That's how you know what timeline you're on, right? The people who have already gone through a lot of trauma and went through these, remember I left a partner, a flat, a car, I didn't have to pay no rent. There was all sorts of, culture, everything was, I was getting ready to have kids basically with this person and I didn't even want to do that. I narrowly changed because my trauma was so bad that I jumped a different timeline. So somewhere in a parallel universe, I am happily married with children, and this is that, right? So parallel me somewhere else is having a pretty calm life. That will exist because in quantum physics, literally there is that theory of the amount of times that you've been split, whatever decision you take, and this is happening right now, right? So if you do that every day and say like, you're like, right, okay, I'm going to leave this person, I'm going to go to and then I met another guy, and now I'm seeing that he's living a life which is actually 2.4. Wow, I wouldn't have ended up, he wasn't my soulmate then, because fuck, now all of a sudden he's like, you know, in a situation, and I'm just like, why are you still calling me? And I had to really put the brakes and say, yo, if you're not single, don't talk to me. Straight the fuck up. But you wanted my shine because you see me shining even brighter before you saw my potential, but I didn't know my potential. Sometimes the people you love will be the people who, they're not your biggest haters, but they are your biggest kind of entities, okay? So I understand what you were saying earlier, Alex, about, you know, why you thought your agent came through. I call him the agent, right? Okay, so that's deep, okay? Then those people who have now chosen that other timeline, no matter how much spiritual knowledge they've got, it's in the actions that they do, they will continue to exist in that timeline, and they may make decisions out of fear. So say the people who are like, okay, the government will say to you, okay, take this vaccine and I'm going to write off all your debt, not knowing that the money will not exist tomorrow. Okay, let's just say that. These people are like, okay, calm. Now say me, you and Chris are like, no, fuck that. And we go into, we say, okay, there's a bunker underground, or there's a land, plot of land, we can go there. And all of a sudden, say you two are homeless, I'm like, right, I've got a piece of land, come we go, and we're there. We're living a different timeline, and I don't have to give my DNA to these people because they're not holding anything against me, because I don't have maybe a child or someone who's depending on me. So it's just me, myself, and I, and the universe is like, see, this is why you didn't have kids. See, this is why there was no one depending on you. And this is why you ain't got a man, because did you want to go and do what he was doing, or would you have ended up, you know, being held hostage to a timeline? So the universe, whatever traumas it's given you, is exactly where you're supposed to. We are supposed to be talking about this right fucking now. To be in this timeline, for me to remind you very loudly over and over again, like that annoying Apple alarm clock, I'm going to keep on buzzing again and again and again, because you asked for it. We all knew each other in spirit to say, yo, can you remind me to do this when we get there? And I'm like, okay. And you place the reminders through people. And Alex, you could have reminded me about something, and I'm reminding Chris about his greatness, and it's just this big fucking network. But we're all on a maybe transitional frequency going that way. We're creating another world, another timeline, right? Those people are there, and they will remain there. And then we could be watching what's happening to them on the news, but I don't watch the news because I'm not trying to manifest that reality, right? So I don't even know what's going on with anything. I'm not talking about the politics because I'm a powerful manifester. So I'm not going to create the reality for them. What I'm going to do is watch the reality, what's going on, and say, oh, this is what's happening there. Okay, so they're going to do this. All right, what did my dreams tell me again? All right, so now I'm prepped. So I'm like, okay, Min, you can't eat meat. You're supposed to be training. All right, let's see if you can be a bit of breatharian. Can you go a week without eating food? Well, actually, yeah, the universe did make me go without eating food for a week. And I was like, why the fuck am I not feeling hungry? Because my heart was hurt, you know? So these things that we think at the time are pulling us down into another timeline are actually doing the opposite, because what do? We live life forward and learn it backwards. We live life forward and learn it backwards. So now we have all convened, and all of a sudden we've created a new timeline, Alex. You opened the gateway for us. Do you understand how important that is? You opened a gateway for us. You are the gatekeeper, okay? So it doesn't matter if right now you're not feeling that, oh my God, Min, I've got so much work to do. You're thinking about tomorrow and yesterday. And that's why I said to you earlier, Alex, make sure you get some rest because I can feel your busyness. I'm linked into you telepathically. I'm linked into Chris telepathically because I recognized him straight away. I knew who he was. I knew who he was. That's why I kept asking you, is Chris on Instagram? Is da-da-da-da? Because I was like, this guy, why is he hiding? He's hiding from me. You know, he's hiding from me, but I found him. And because I know I have a message, right? So what we're going to do now is we are here. Let's not call this light workers, starseeds, Palladians, Hyperboreans, Atlanteans, or Lemurians. Let's not call it that. Let's call it, hey, do you feel me? You recognize me? They're like, yeah, I feel you. And I'll be like, okay, let's go. No questions. If someone lives near me, do you know how many people hit me up? Oh, do you live in North London? Yes, I do. I don't like people to know where I live. I don't even want them in my house. But now I have to be this open, receiving person. You know, I can't hide anymore. And the gates have opened, Alex. You've opened the gates. I knew this was going to happen for a long time. Spirit told me to rest because it said shit's about to go supersonic, supernova speed. And now I can't even catch my breath. I'm feeling dizzy. I was feeling nauseous. I was like, how am I going to do this Zoom? I feel sick. And I didn't want to tell Alex none of this. But I was feeling that because there's a certain type of feeling you have before you board a plane. There's a certain type of feeling and then you're all right. And then turbulence. Then turbulence hits. We're in turbulence right now. Okay, major.
Yeah.
When people are in turbulence and if that plane crashes, Alex, some of those people will fall in the ocean and they will survive. You know what the rest of us are going to do? We're going to fly. We're going to levitate. Because we're tuned into a different frequency. We don't even believe the plane is crashing. We don't even believe there is a plane. This is what I was saying to you earlier about the sword and the dream. Yeah? Okay? So if we treat it like that, we create another timeline. You saw those programs called Lost, right?
Yeah.
Right. Lost. Okay? So they didn't even know they were dead or something like that. So we got to treat it, you know, it was all a dream. It was all a dream, right? That's what it's about. It's only real if you say it's real. Inception. It's a dream. Listen, let me tell you the most terrifying moment of my life. When I had a dream within a dream within a dream. Shut the fuck up. I didn't even know what the fuck was happening. I was so scared. I was like, what if I get trapped in my dream and I go into a coma? And you know when that logical mind convinces you that that could happen as a possibility, I reckon that's how comas really even come about, right? And then when I finally woke up, listen, I was scared to go to sleep after that. And I told my housemate as well, I was like, listen, I need to be high, I need to be drunk. I can't do this again because I didn't want to feel that every time I woke up, I was like, yeah, I'm in my room. Oh my God, I recognize. And then all of a sudden I look and there's someone on my bed and I don't know who the fuck they are. And there's two people there and they're looking at me and I'm looking at them. I'm like, wake up. Now, it becomes like that. Their reality can exist in my dream, okay? The 3D reality and the timeline that the people are covered, yeah, and they believe the news, right, and they believe that this whole thing is real, it really is real for them. In their reality, it exists, and they can probably get sick. And then they will convince you, Alex, that, but Alex, my mum died of this. Why are you being so insensitive? Right? And you're thinking, oh shit, like maybe, and then you're going to be convinced that you know someone who knew someone, but none of us know anyone who died of it. Shut up. I don't fuck. Anyway, I'm not going to say anything because they're going to fucking use this against me. But what I'm trying to say is, in that reality, it really exists for them. It really is real. They are, that shit is real for them. The disease is real, everything is real. In my reality, it's not real, so I'm not gonna get sick in it.
So it's so funny that you say that, because when this whole thing happened, not that I'm like trying to talk about it or touch on it, but that was the first thing I said. I said, it's not in my reality. And then people would message me and be like, are you okay? Blah, blah, blah. I'd be like, I don't know what you're talking about. It's not in my reality. I'm good. So I don't know what you're talking about. And then obviously I started to like hear some people that were like, oh, I know this person that know this person that know that person that got it and died. And I was just like, okay. Then I started thinking, I don't understand how some people really believe that. They really believe it. I don't understand, right? And then that's when I figured out they believe the narrative so much that it is real for them. Like, this is
whatever you believe in is going to be real, which is why I said to you earlier, it's so dangerous what you tell your subconscious. I told you the caterpillar and the butterfly can exist on the same realm, but the caterfly and the caterfly, wow, I just made up a whole new species. A caterfly, fuck me. Okay, so a caterpillar and a butterfly can exist in the same realm, but you will never see them together. One is on the land, one is in the sky. One will see violet vision, the other one will see normal vision. But yet, when it metamorphosizes, it does not realize what it's going to become. So it's the same as timelines. That's the only way I can tell you, is that butterfly is not going to come back and have a chat with the caterpillar and try and convince it that it's going to go through metamorphosis. It's not for us to tell everyone. It is for everyone to find us, to resonate with us. Because at some point you two have said in your mind, you know, I really need some answers. You've said it, and it was so strong that I'm here to remind you of certain things. And for me as well, I was feeling so alone that I was like, is there anybody out there? Is there anybody out there? Because no one was talking to me. And I knew they were intimidating, they were scared, and they just didn't, you know, they were looking up at me rather than at me, you know. And I didn't like feeling like that. It was a lot of pressure, and I'm not that Jesus, I'm not the Messiah, I'm not the guru, and I don't actually like feeling like that. But there was a hell of a lot of responsibility. With great power does come great responsibility. Like, it's true. And I really have to be this person like this, like, yes, so frequency and cymatics, and this is how my videos used to be. Now I'm like, fuck this shit, guys, you don't understand. Now I'm giving it to them real in the last few weeks, Alex. And I think because I changed my vibration, all of a sudden you came into my parameter, and I was like, that's so weird. And all of a sudden I'm on Discord and I'm seeing all these other people talking, and they're talking and talking. And I'm like, okay, so I can tune into that. I can tune into Zoom. I can tune into this. But it was feeling like a solo flight for me. So I called upon you. You called upon me. And when it's just right, that's what happens. So that's how a timeline is created. So we've done this. They've done this.
Yeah. They've
done this too. And that's the matrix, is just layers of timelines. And another thing I will say is that, you know, we were talking about parallel universes. Your higher self is a combination of all your split selves, because it's gone through all the potential outcomes. It's from the future. And so it will guide you to the most beneficial one for you, if you can hear, if you can decode. Okay? This is a very important point. Every time you've made a decision, and every time you've been split, your higher self has lived out all the potential possibilities. Okay? Okay, have you seen Doctor Strange?
Yeah.
Right.
I see it every time I make a decision.
I like that.
All your split selves have gone out kaboom, shrapnel. And this is where schizophrenia and multiple personality disorder comes from. And then what happens? And it becomes one androgynous being, this voice with no sex, no gender, no race, no nothing. It's just this all-knowing, hello, Min, atoms, Bruce Lipton, da, 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 da. And I'm like, whoa, 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 wait. And then I got to write down and go and research it and all of this shit. But you get to a point where you're so relaxed and alert that it will say to you, get up, go to the park, go to the trees. You're not going to tell the people you're with that we're going to go do grounding. I'm just going to be like, yo, Nika, I need to go and get a hot drink. Yeah, meet you across the road in 10 minutes. That 10 minutes turns into like half an hour, but they've rolled up at the same time that I've rolled up. Yeah, then we're walking and I'm like, where the fuck is Nubia? She's always late for everything. She's done some weird back street maneuver. And imagine this, while she was crossing a path behind me, I should have met her on the main street. I stopped in front of a particular street and Nika's like, what? And I went, I just looked like that and I went, Nubia's somewhere, but I can't see her. She's hidden from my vision, but I stood there for a good 5 minutes. Then I moved along purely because I didn't question my higher self. And then she phoned me. She goes, where are you? Like, I'm at the coffee shop. And I said, how did I not pass you? She went, oh, I took the alleyway. So she passed me when I stopped, because that's how powerful your tribe is. I don't care where you are. You could be across an ocean. You could be in Fiji and I could be in Antarctica. If we are vibrating on the same frequency, there's no time and distance that exists on the higher planes, on the astral. We're bringing the astral here. So that means my astral self and your astral selves and my astral self is coming here, our higher selves. And then your higher self is recognizing my higher self. And your higher self, Alex, is recognizing my higher self. And all of a sudden, when we're together, our higher selves are actually having a conversation. Now shit is about to go down, because when you get more than 3 that are gathered, manifestation occurs. Why do you think they don't want you together? Why do you think they don't want you to stand next to each other? Because your heart is a magnetic field and it powers everyone around you. So you just have to awaken a few and everyone around you rises. That's why I always say, if you rise, I rise. If I rise, you rise. That's how powerful it is. And that's how you create a timeline.
This is lighting me up so much. Just the fact that like we've connected. And I feel like
I'm onto your asses, both of you. Shut up. You're going to hate me.
I honestly feel like I have so many more questions, and I'm just being mindful of the time, because I think we've got like hours.
Yeah, even the light gave up on me.
It doesn't even, yeah, like it doesn't even feel like it's been 2.5 hours. I think we're going to save this for part 2.
Please save it.
This has been honestly so powerful. I know Chris has so many more questions. He's probably going to go away and write them all down for next time.
Oh, I mean, I ain't gotta write them down. They here.
I know.
You guys can just hit me up just anyway. Like, you know how lovely it is to talk in a language which sounds like alien to people, but if people actually hear me, it's like being a foreigner in a foreign land, and suddenly you speak a language and they're like, hey, are you from London? You're like, oh my God, yes, someone who understands me. There's something about someone understanding me that makes me feel so empowered. That comprehension is real love. Because comprehension is real love, man.
It's rare when you I don't know, yeah, you know what I'm trying to say. It's rare, I just feel.
Oh yeah, what's understood, they ain't got it.
Until I met you guys and everyone else on the Discord, and how, I don't know how people have been gravitating towards me. I just set their intention out, and then the right people have been coming towards me. And I have never felt so understood until this year, really.
Yeah.
Like, wow, I can be myself. I can speak about the things I want to talk about, and people understand, and people are helping me, and they're guiding me, and they're supporting me. And Min, like, I messaged you earlier, and just to tell you, like, you're reminding me so much of, I feel the reminder. I know it's a reminder that you're giving me. Big fucking reminder.
You called it. And when you call it, you have to be ready to receive. And don't wait to be yourself, because when you're yourself, that's when you actually attract your tribe. It's when you wait, you become the destination. I told you, it has to be 0, 1, not 1, 2. It's 0, 1. Flip it always, and then do the thing first, and then it comes to you. You know how they say that, don't they? That you have to be sovereign. You have to be the money. Because if suddenly the universe gave you like 10 billion, if a person isn't in their like sovereignty of what they would even do, like, would you even know what to do with that fucking money? And how many conscious billionaires do we know? None. So it's almost like shit has to change. And unfortunately, the people who really would do greatness are the people that are out here doubting themselves. And the people who are distorted inside, and then say distortion of truth, which is still half a truth. Like, you got Kanye, you got all these like geniuses, but they're not really like balanced within, and then they're still kind of representing a system. Then it almost makes you think, wow, this is how dangerous it is when people with a lot of money, aka a lot of power and standing, what they say, it then becomes a sheep and shepherd situation. So you have to be very careful. Yeah. So we have a lot of responsibilities, what I'm trying to say to you. And we can keep each other in check, just knowing that, you know. Yeah. And the listeners as well, to know that there's a lot of, don't try and start saving the world when you haven't really even saved yourself or understood yourself. And don't just run around like a child with £1 million all of a sudden, because it's not going to end well for the people around you. And it's irresponsible, and that's a monopoly, and that's what's happening with Amazon and, you know, a lot of these people. And you know, if you give masculines a lot of power standing, who are disconnected from their subconscious, what tends to happen is that's when you get the technological era, that's when you get AI, that's when you get that, because now what they want is a really neutral person or a thing that is non-human to tell them who they are. That's what they want. So first it was Jesus, God, now it's robot, Alexa, DeepMind, AlphaGo, you know, the AI, but that's going to be a whole new topic. Is the AI is the apex human, and it's not human. So we no longer trust our human instincts. That's how far removed we are from being human. So, you know, we should definitely leave that note on it's an honor to be a human.
Yeah.
It's an honor.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much, Min, for your time.
I love you guys. Amazing. And my battery's like, everything's dying. My battery's dying. My light was just like, fuck you. I'm not illuminating you anymore. Gave up on me. Seriously. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you. I'm so grateful to have found both of you and all of you. So until next time, guys.
Yes.
Love you.
Chris.
Oh yeah, no, I'm here. I'm just Leah.
All right. Well, until next time, and Alex, I'll send you a message right now. Yeah. All right. Bye, Chris.